Good morning. Today we are going to see about remineralization. So remineralization is defined as the process whereby calcium and phosphate ions are supplied from a source external to the tooth to promote ion deposition into crystal voids in demineralized enamel to produce the net mineral gain. So remineralization of dental lesions requires the presence of partially demineralized crystals that can grow to their original size when they are exposed to fluid that is supersaturated with respect to hydroxyapatite minerals. So the dynamic process of demineralization and remineralization. The oral cavity is a battlefield of activities of demineralization and remineralization. The ratio between two processes is crucial in determining the hardness and strength of the tooth structure. Next, this is the demineralized tooth and this is post-remineralization. So the requirements of remineralization process are a sufficient mineral must be present in the saliva, a molecule of carbonic acid must be produced, the carbonic acid molecule must be produced in proximity to a mineral molecule which it then dissolves into its ionic components. That spot of the tooth has to be clean so that the mineral deficient spot is accessible. This all has to occur in proximity to a demineralized spot in the hydroxyapatite lattice work that requires that exact mineral ion. The carbonic acid must convert into carbon dioxide and water before any of the above circumstances change. So requirements of an ideal remineralization material: works at an acidic pH, works in xerostomic patient, does not deliver an excess of calcium, does not favor calculus formation, diffuses into the subsurface or delivers calcium and phosphate ions into the subsurface, then boost the remineralizing property of the saliva for novel materials, shows a benefit over fluoride. So remineralizing agents, they are fluorides, calcium phosphate based, calcium sucrose phosphate, sugar substitutes and hydroxyapatites. So fluorides, the prevention of caries in children is at the forefront of public health strategies. Fluoride is a major player in the slowing, arrest and even reversal of dental caries progression. So mechanism by which fluoride release increases the caries resistance is remineralization of incipient lesion, increased enamel resistance, rate of maturation, surface energy, interference with microorganisms and improved tooth morphology. So fluoride gateway to the oral cavity. So personal applications, we use fluoride dentifrices and rinses. Professional application, we use fluoride varnish, foams, gels and fluoride releasing restorative materials. The fluoride levels are about 3 parts per million in the enamel. So these are the commercially available forms of fluoride, and reasons to seek alternative to fluorides are: fluoride is highly effective on smooth surface caries. Although the fluoride presents no problems when used properly among certain parts of the world, there has been suggestion that fluoride exposure should be limited. A high fluoride strategy cannot be followed to avoid the potential for adverse effects. So newer technologies for enamel remineralizing system is crystalline calcium phosphate remineralizing system, unstabilized amorphous calcium phosphate system and stabilized amorphous calcium phosphate systems. Then crystalline calcium phosphate remineralizing systems. Here the calcium phosphate exists in one of the numerous crystalline phases. The problem is poor stability of the calcium phosphate phases, such as the calcium and phosphate ions are unavailable for remineralization. These crystalline calcium phosphate phases must be released on product contact with saliva and then dissolved to liberate into ions capable of diffusing into the enamel subsurface. Then stabilized amorphous calcium phosphate system, a biomimetic remineralization system, a biological fluids containing high concentration of calcium and phosphate ions. They contain inhibitory ions such as pyrophosphate and proteins to ensure stabilization. These stabilizing proteins include caseins in the milk and statirin in saliva. Then CPP, ACP, it uses CPP to stabilize calcium and phosphate ions at high concentration. Then amorphous nanocomplexes are designed CPP. Then amorphous calcium phosphate. So the proposed mechanisms are localization and supply of calcium phosphate and fluoride ions in correct molar ratio at the tooth surface by the CPP to drive diffusion of the ions into the subsurface enamel. So the commercially available are Recaldent, GC Tooth Mousse, Enamelon Technology, Novamin Technology, ClinPro Tooth Cream, anti-calcium sucrose phosphate. It is a mixture of calcium sucrose mono and diphosphate, disucrose monophosphate, and inorganic calcium phosphate. Then hydroxyapatite, carbonate hydroxyapatite nanocrystals having size, morphology, and chemical composition and crystallinity comparable to that of dentin. Then the concentration of 10% nanohydroxyapatite is optimal for remineralization of early enamel caries. Then dispensing method. The commonly used vehicles are dentifrices, pit and fissure sealants, chewing gums, rinses, and restorative materials. Then dentifrices, it is one of the most practical methods for delivering remineralizing agent. Then Burwell and Musil found that CPP, ACP provided sustained condition for remineralization when used as a dentifrice. Then pit fission sealants, they are available as either resin based or glass ionomer based. Since resin based sealants do not provide fluoride release, glass ionomer sealants are more effective for caries prevention. Then paste, rinse and dental floss. Paste used for remineralization contain calcium and phosphate releasing components with or without fluoride. The commercial paste containing CPP are designed for professional application as well as professionally supervised home application. Then chewing gums. Chewing gums which contains xylitol or sorbitol are used. Then restorative materials such as glass ionomers, compomers and geomers. So glass ionomer is a water-based material which hardens following an acid-base reaction between basic fluoroaminosilicate glass and an aqueous solution of polyacids. So the salivary fluoride concentration is found to remain elevated for up to 1 year after placement of a GIC restoration. Then the fluoride release must be maintained to about 2 to 3 microgram per ml per day for effective remineralization, and this can be achieved by fluoride recharge. Then you have compomers. They contain polyacid modified monomers with fluoride releasing silicate glasses and are formulated without water. So release fluoride from a mechanism which is similar to glass and hybrid ionomers, but the amount of fluoride release and the duration are less when compared to the glass and hybrid ionomers. Next comes the geomer. It is an anhydrous resin-based restorative that utilizes a pre-acted glass ionomer technology, incorporate fillers that are produced from the complete or partial reaction of ion leachable glasses with polyalcoholic acid. While geomer released fluoride, it did not have an initial burst type of release like glass ionomer. The long-term release of fluoride is lower than that of the other material. Thank you.